The Chicago Bears have sent a clear message in their first joint practice of 2025, and that message was dominance. In a heated clash at Hall against the Miami Dolphins, the Bears didn't just show up, they took control. From sharp offensive plays to lockdown defense, this practice had everything, and I'm about to break down every key moment, every highlight, and even the unexpected drama that unfolded. But before we dive into the latest news, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and tap that bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. It all started with intensity. Head coach Ben Johnson laid down the law before practice, warning players that fights would come with consequences. Well, it didn't take long. Jonathan Owens got into it with a Miami receiver, and soon after, Tariq Stevenson joined the fray. Even Tremaine Edmonds had to be held back, and trust me, at 6'5" and over 250 pounds, no one's eager to test him. Despite the heated exchanges, it was a good day for Chicago. Johnson wasn't shy about calling out the offense for inconsistency, but that's part of his tough, gritty approach. He's not just holding guys accountable in the locker room, he's doing it in front of the media, setting a new tone for Bears football. And today, that tone delivered. Caleb Williams and a select group of starters took most of the reps in the joint practice, but they won't be suiting up for Sunday's preseason game. This week's preseason lineup is already shaping up to be a chess match. At left tackle, we'll see a rotation between Braxton Jones, Azzi Trapello, and Theo Benedict as the Bears look for the perfect fit heading into the season. Head coach Ben Johnson hinted that Caleb Williams and the starters will eventually see preseason action, likely in the matchup against the Buffalo Bills. That's when things get serious, as the team starts separating roster locks from bubble players. Mistakes will happen, but those moments will be gold for the coaching staff to review film, make adjustments, and prepare the first stringers for what's ahead. Now, on to the injury updates, and there's some good news right off the bat. Darnell Wright, who had raised concerns with an earlier injury, was back in full pads today. That's a big boost for the offensive line. On the flip side, Karan Magaji remains sidelined, which Johnson admits is costing him valuable reps. Magaji, currently slotted as the backup right tackle, is unlikely to play Sunday against Miami. The status of cornerback Kyler Gordon is still uncertain, no word yet on the severity of his injury. Defensive tackle Andrew Billings gave everyone a scare during practice, but he returned to the field, which is reassuring. As for the quarterback depth chart, Tyson Bagent has claimed the QB2 spot for now and will start against Miami. On the Dolphins side, some big names were missing in action. Tyreek Hill is dealing with an oblique injury, and Darren Waller was also held out. That meant Chicago didn't get a look at Miami's full offensive arsenal, but the intensity was still there. The Bears' offense came into today's joint practice looking to make a statement, and in many ways, they did. Braxton Jones opened the session with the first-team offense at left tackle, setting the tone early. Later, Azzi Trapello and Theo Benedict each took their turns with the starters, continuing the steady rotation Chicago has been experimenting with. It's a clear sign the coaching staff wants every contender tested under pressure before deciding who anchors that spot in Week 1. Still, giving Jones the initial reps against Miami felt like a quiet vote of confidence. As for Caleb Williams, it was one of those learn fast kind of days. His first throw in 11-on-11 drills was picked off, intended for Cole Kmet, not the start he wanted. But he didn't fold. He regrouped, found his rhythm, and delivered a laser to Olamide Zaccoz for a big gain later in the session. That resilience mattered more than the early mistake. Williams is still digesting a brand new playbook, which means the bumps are inevitable. Better to work through them now than in a real game. Early on, false starts and timing issues popped up, but once he settled in, those problems vanished. And when the offense clicked, it really clicked. Tyson Bagent uncorked a perfect 50-yard touchdown to Colson Lovin, torching the Miami secondary. Moments later, Williams stepped up in the pocket, spotted Zaccoz streaking over the middle, and dropped in a gorgeous deep ball that turned into a 70-yard touchdown after Zaccoz hit top speed. Today wasn't perfect, but it was explosive. The Bears' offense showed flashes that, if consistent, could make this unit dangerous when the real season begins. It's clear the offense is trending upward. The passing game in particular looks sharper and more confident compared to the early days of camp. One standout continues to be rookie running back Kyle Monangai, who has been earning consistent first-team reps. His quick adjustment to the pro level, strong vision, and ability to contribute in multiple situations have been impressive. For a rookie, he's showing the poise of a veteran, and that's exactly the kind of progression this team needs heading into the season. Overall, the offense isn't just improving, it's building momentum. The chemistry is growing, the timing is tightening up, and key players are stepping into bigger roles. If they can keep this trajectory, they'll be in a strong position when the games start to matter. Now, with the offense showing life, it's time to turn to the defense. And let me tell you, there's a lot to unpack about who absolutely dominated today's practice. Now for the part everyone's been waiting for, the defense. If the Bears' offense showed promise, the defense brought pure domination. Miami's receivers may have landed a few early punches in one-on-ones, but once Chicago's secondary settled in, they shut the door. Greg Braggs reported the turning point. After a couple of early losses, the Bears' defensive backs began locking down the Dolphins' passing attack. Jalen Wright nearly gave up a deep shot early, but responded with relentless coverage the rest of the way. Josh Blackwell snatched an interception, though it was called back on a controversial pass interference flag that drew heavy boos from the crowd. Jaquan Brisker, in the middle of what's becoming an outstanding camp, made his presence felt with the first pick of the day in 7-on-7s. Later, the defense went on a tear, back-to-back sacks by Montez Sweat, followed by a perfectly timed blitz from Brisker and Blackwell that wrecked another Dolphins play. The turnovers kept coming. Wright stayed glued to his man on a deep route, tipping the ball into the air for Kevin Byard to haul in. Keep in mind, all of this happened without Jalen Johnson or Kyler Garden on the field. The depth is stepping up big. Even Terrell Smith joined the party, breaking up 2 passes and setting the tone with physical coverage that Miami clearly struggled to handle. And then there's Wright, a player many thought wouldn't even make the roster, now playing with swagger, confidence, and sticky coverage that nearly netted him a second interception. Dennis Allen's defense isn't just holding its own, it's imposing its will. And if this level of intensity holds, Chicago's secondary could be one of the toughest units in the league this season. Tua managed a few sharp completions in rhythm, but the Bears' defense refused to back down. One of the highlights came when Jalen Wright blanketed his man so tightly it looked like they were running the route together. That kind of coverage was the story of the day, aggressive, physical, and unrelenting. The tone was set early with a thundering hit from Jonathan Owens across the middle during 7-on-7s. The officials threw a personal foul flag, but honestly, it was the kind of old-school football that sends a message. From that moment on, Miami's offense knew they were in for a fight. Javon Dexter Sr. also put on a clinic in one-on-ones, proving almost impossible to block whether lined up at nose tackle or out wide. His burst off the snap had Miami's linemen scrambling, and it's no stretch to call him a prime breakout candidate this season. The biggest defensive jolt came when Tariq Stevenson flattened Jalen Waddle on a screen pass, jarred the ball loose, and forced a fumble. Waddle stayed down for a couple of minutes, but eventually walked off. The play a stark reminder of just how punishing this defense can be. Then came the moment that had the entire sideline erupting. Tremaine Edmonds reading Tua's eyes, jumping a route, bobbling the ball mid-air, and still pulling in the interception before racing the other way. The roar from the Bears' sideline could probably be heard outside Hollis Hall. Grady Jarrett also flashed with a lightning-quick tackle for loss, and his family in the stands went wild. Even during special teams work, tempers flared as Jonathan Owens and Cornell Armstrong got tangled up, drawing in players from both sides for some extra shoving. If there was one blemish, it came from the defensive line's left side, which struggled at times to contain the run. Still, the overall performance was overwhelming. The Bears dictated the pace, owned the intensity, and left little doubt about who controlled this joint practice. If they carry this same fire into Sunday, Chicago could be in for another statement performance.